As admins, we wear many hats and take on a lot of responsibility. We love being busy and making a real difference for our executives. And as we keep taking more and more on, we may come to a point where we realize that we've overcommitted and it's now time to say when. Hey guys, this is Cherie from The Exceptional Assistant, and my channel is all about the day-to-day responsibilities and scenarios of the professional assistant. So whether you're an executive assistant today looking for new tips and tricks, or you're new to the administrative role, this channel will be a great source of information for you. I've worked for executive level leaders within the largest corporations in America, from the gaming industry, the banking industry, and the movie entertainment industry. I've had some of the greatest executive mentors throughout the years, and this is my platform to share what I know. Now let's get to the video. We all know it's true. As admins, we wear many different hats and we take on a lot of responsibility. We love being busy and making a real difference for our executives. And as we keep taking more and more on, we may come to a point where we realize that we've overcommitted and it's time to say when. The common phrase is, tell me when. Tell me when to stop giving you more. We all have those leaders who continuously give us more and more responsibility because in their eyes, there isn't anything that we can't do. They have full confidence that we can juggle tons of work, but we come to a point where we are at full capacity and things are starting to get a little too difficult, and that's when you have to raise your hand and say when. As companies are downsizing their staff and the work still remains, we take more and more on sometimes, and we overcommit because we're ambitious and we want to impress our executives and our peers, or sometimes we just have no choice about it. But when you fail to deliver the work by its deadline, or you provide rush work that is poor quality, it sends a message that you're not reliable. Don't jeopardize your work quality, because what you produce for your executive can impact decisions to important initiatives for their organization. It's okay to say when you need help. So let's start talking through scenarios of when you should start saying when. It's time to say when you've taken all the right steps to better manage your workload. But with the demand to take on more responsibility from your executive, business partners, and your managers, not to mention your own daily work, it can be tough to keep your head above water. It's time to say when you're working an excessive amount of overtime because you don't have enough time to finish everything in that day. You then lose the work-life balance. We have to be careful that we don't lose sight of the important things like family and special moments that are important to us. It's time to say when you have asked for assistance to help alleviate the pressures of the demand on you, and there hasn't been any discussion to resolve the issue. If you don't see any movement, I would revisit the conversation again with the individual you had the conversation with originally. If then there is still no movement, you may need to go a little further up. It's time to say when an individual has been delegated to assist you and they're not meeting their obligations and the work is still piling up on you. Sometimes this can happen when the individual is irritated that they're being delegated work to, so they push your work to the back burner. Another situation is that the delegate is delayed because they themselves are trying to manage their own workload. It's time to say when you begin not to feel well, or you begin to feel incredibly anxious, or worse, it's migraine after migraine. This is a very bad sign. There is no job so important that your health is compromised. You come first. You should have an open communication line with your executive to talk through these serious situations. You have to let them know how the demand of the work that's on you is impacting you and your health. If you don't tell them, how are they going to help you? It's time to say when you can't sleep at night because you feel so overwhelmed thinking through all the work you still have that needs to be completed. I once was very guilty of this. I had a really bad habit of revisiting my work day when it was time for me to go to bed. But nope, there I was at 10 p.m. sending tons of emails to myself, and this went on for a couple of hours when I was trying to sleep. I would remember something, turn on the light to send another email to myself. What was I doing here? I was interrupting my sleep and interrupting my rest. And of course, I was tired the next day. It's not good to bring work home with you. Find a way to manage how you're going to tackle your workday. A good idea is to organize your workday the day before you go home. Lay it all out in front of you so you can see what still needs to be worked on. Put the easy stuff to the side so you can tackle those items first thing in the morning. I would do the easy tasks before I even open up my email for the day. This way, you're not getting pulled into something that you've read. If you know that you have a project to work on, set it on your calendar for a specific duration. And when you start working on the project, close down your distractions like your email and instant message. You can add your out-of-office alerting incoming emails that you're on a project for a specific time range. Also, not everything is urgent. If there's some wiggle room to complete something in a couple of days, set a reminder to complete it a little bit down the road. It's time to say when you start feeling like you're not being valued and your contributions are not being recognized for one reason or another. You work hard, you work long hours, you jump in to alleviate work for your leader, and you never miss deadlines. This can have a negative effect on you, which can ultimately hurt your performance because in the big picture, we can become disillusioned. You didn't come this far to only come this far, so a good idea is to find out where the break happened and why. Look, we are only human and we all have our limits. We are fantastic at multitasking, meeting our deadlines, and managing and running large projects. We are great, but we won't be great if we are struggling and over our heads. That's when it's time to schedule a meeting with your executive for a candid conversation. Be ready to talk about the pressures of your overloaded desk and your ideas to resolve the issue. Speak about certain tasks that can be delegated. Your executive will appreciate your forward-thinking ideas to resolve the issue and can provide feedback on those ideas. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. And if you have a great tip to share, leave it in the comments. Thanks everybody for watching. Take care.